Coming up on Network Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ghana and Gabon all confirmed their first cases of coronavirus. South Africa awaits over 100 citizens from Wuhan, the epicenter of COVID-19. Plus, South Sudan announces a new cabinet in a key step in the peace process following years of civil war. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Welcome. I'm Layo Adegoke. Kenya has confirmed its first COVID-19 case. The Health Minister Muthoni Kagwe said she is a woman who arrived from the U.S. on the 5th of March and tested positive for the virus. Official reports say that the patient's fever has gone down and she is now stable and eating, but she would be kept in isolation until she tests negative. In the meantime, the Kenyan government has also suspended all public gatherings following the confirmation of the country's first case of COVID-19. Mr. Kagwe urges members of the public to observe personal hygiene and transport operators to regularly clean their vehicles. Well, just like Kenya, Ethiopia, Ghana and Gabon have all confirmed their first cases of COVID-19. Ethiopian authorities say the patient is a 48-year-old Japanese national who arrived in Ethiopia on March 4th from Burkina Faso. The Minister for Health, Leah Tadesse, said the patient is receiving treatment in an isolated facility and was in a stable condition. Ethiopians have been asked not to panic and to remain calm as the government is doing everything it can to contain the spread of the virus. In Ghana, they have also confirmed their first 2 cases of coronavirus, and Gabon confirms its first case. Ghana's Health Minister Kwaku Ayemang Manu said 2 people who'd arrived from Norway and Turkey tested positive for the virus. In Gabon, government spokesperson Edgar Anises Mbubu said the patient was a Gabonese man who'd arrived from France. Well, over in Tunisia, the health ministry has announced 6 new cases of coronavirus, bringing the total of confirmed cases in the country to 13. A mandatory self-quarantine period of 2 weeks has also been imposed for all travelers arriving from China, Iran and the worst-affected European countries. On arrival in Tunisia's airports, travelers must also register their details using an online form with a QR code, in addition to a paper form. Tunisia has gradually been testing more in recent days and has applied tighter controls and prevention measures that include closing the National Theatre, cancelling most festivals and concerts scheduled for this month, also postponing many conferences, lectures and workshops, and daily cleaning of interbuses with antiseptic solutions. In South Africa, they now have 24 confirmed cases of COVID-19, and there are more positive ones still growing through the verification processes. Speaking to the media today, Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize gave details of the situation at the moment, as well as an update on the evacuation mission of 122 South Africans.
The location is in the hands of the Defence Force, which is leading the evacuation mission. This ranch resort, 25 kilometers from Polokwane, South Africa's Limpopo province, is a quarantine location for the 122 South Africans being brought home from Wuhan, along with the entire evacuation team. Despite repeated assurances from government that these people returning are not sick, their return has sparked national debate as worry increases among the people. Just before the location went on lockdown, the Health Minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, briefed the media on latest developments.
As we have seen now at this point, there's a lockdown. We have When we get out of here, that will be the end. They will not be allowing anyone other than the teams that will be assigned to be here. The staff, the crew, everyone is going to be on a lockdown. They'll be part of the quarantine. But as we say, at the moment, all of the people are healthy and well. So that is the situation as it stands now. So we're just happy to say that when they move from Manila, they will go to Wuhan, and from Wuhan they'll come back to South Africa. As to what time they land here, we can just guarantee you that before the weekend is over, they will have arrived. But we have also indicated to you that there is no reception committee. There's no team that must go and wait for them at the airport, because if you do that, you might actually just inadvertently cross the line, and therefore you'll be forced to come in.
With 2 false positives recorded so far, Dr. Zweli Mkhize gave the current figure of the people actually infected in South Africa.
We had announced 16 cases. Today we're announcing 8. That makes it 24. So let's not have confusion. However, I have said, we are aware now that the additional cases which are positive, we will not reveal the numbers yet until they are verified, and I explained verification in terms of ensuring that positives are positives so that you don't end up with withdrawing any of them. So we're working on that. And secondly, we need to get the profiles. When the issue around the travel ban was raised, our teams have gone through to look at what has been happening. In reality, we have noticed that it's difficult to completely close down traveling, but what we have seen is that people actually reroute from various other countries. So a number of people who would have come from Italy landed here from Dubai. So if you are only going to be specific about one country, just be aware that people can actually use various other countries as it were.
Testing has been decentralized in the country, with private sector players involved, and enlightenment on keeping a social distance in crowded places and keeping clean continues, with a call for people to desist from spreading fake news. The health minister also called for the privacy of the people affected to be respected. Meanwhile, on Sunday, the president is expected to meet the interministerial committee working on the COVID-19 in South Africa. From Limpopo Province, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
The second confirmed case of COVID-19 in Nigeria has now tested negative to the virus after a week-long treatment and care at the infectious disease hospital in Yaba, Lagos State. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Ehanire, maintains that health officials are also closely monitoring the improvement in the health status of the index case, with the hope of discharging him early next week. According to him, the current status of COVID-19 in the country does not require travel ban on any country. He, however, reiterated government's determination to step up surveillance and screening at the various entry points, especially the international airports.
Nigeria has not placed a travel ban on any country passport or flights. Between 7 January and 12 March 2020, a total of 42 people who met our case definition have been screened for COVID-19 in 6 states: Edo, Lagos, Ogun, Yobe, Rivers, Kano, and the FCT, of which 40 tested negative and 2 were confirmed positive. And these 2 are the index case and the contact of the index case in Lagos, and we have had no deaths from COVID-19. The index case is clinically stable and is much improved. Steady progress till early next week will guide the medical team in discharging him. The second confirmed case, a contact of the index case, is testing negative for the virus now, meaning he has cleared the virus and will be allowed to go home. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the Federal Ministry of Health reviewed the policy to allow passengers without yellow card or proof of vaccination to board their flight to Nigeria with the understanding that they will be given yellow fever vaccination on arrival at our point of entry. The vaccination is free of charge, and the yellow card is at a nominal cost. This is in the interest of the health security of the public and also of the passengers themselves.
A Cameroonian man has become the second confirmed case of the coronavirus in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The health authorities say he has tested positive and is being treated in hospital. The patient is a 46-year-old man who lives in the DRC with his family. He returned to the country from France on Sunday and did not show symptoms of the virus. DR Congo's health authorities say they have so far identified 117 people who have come in contact with both of the country's confirmed cases. The news comes a day after doctors in the country decided to return to work, ending a 2-month strike. The United Nations has also cancelled all UN system-sponsored side events at the headquarters in New York from the 16th of March until the end of April. Spokesperson for the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, says the decision to cancel takes effect immediately. The UN has undertaken measures to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak, including social distancing in the workplace and assessing the criticality of travel and meetings against associated risks. The world body is also encouraging all member states to consider cancelling all side events for the meetings they are sponsoring.
The Secretary General has taken the decision to cancel all United Nations system-sponsored side events at headquarters from March 16th until the end of April. He also strongly urges all member states to consider canceling all side events for the meetings that they are sponsoring. The Secretary General will be communicating with member states and staff in a short while to update them on the preparation measures the UN has undertaken is to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak. The UN building has been closed to visitors, and the Secretariat has instituted arrangements for staff to telecommute to reduce the population density in the building, thereby reducing the risk of transmission. The Secretary General will always balance the need for the UN to continue to deliver on its activities, for him to continue to do its work, and the need to protect public health.
To politics now, the president of Côte d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, has named a close ally as the ruling RHDP party's candidate to succeed him. President Ouattara, who announced last week that he would not seek re-election, told a meeting in the largest city of Abidjan that Amadou Gon Coulibaly, the current prime minister, had the support of the vast majority of party members. It's not yet clear who will oppose Mr. Gon Coulibaly in October's presidential election. Two former presidents, Laurent Gbagbo and Henry Konan Bédié, have not yet said if there will be candidates in the election. And a new cabinet has been announced in South Sudan, which is a key step in the peace process following years of civil war. 3 weeks ago, President Salva Kiir and former rebel leader Riek Machar agreed to form a unity government, and there have been some concern that disagreements over positions threatened the formation of the government of national unity. President Kiir named Angelina Teny, the wife of Mr. Machar, as defense minister, making her the first woman to hold the position. As the new cabinet was announced over state radio, many citizens say they felt a sense of relief. Many had feared that a failure by the politicians to reach an agreement would lead to renewed conflict. At least 400,000 people died during the country's 6-year civil war. You're watching Network Africa on Channels Television. Still to come on the program. Our Africa Tech segment discusses the Nigerian financial technology market. Please stay with us.